Welcome to the Secrets of Tomorrow's Leaders podcast, where we highlight the people and projects shaping the future of our community. I'm your host, Noah Morrow, Vice President of Marketing and Communications for JCI Santa Clarita. Today, we're talking about one of JCI's most cherished and impactful traditions, Santa's Helpers, a project that brings holiday joy to hundreds of children and families right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Joining me are two of the amazing leaders behind this year's event, Sammi and Dillon Lutza, the co-chairs of the 2025 Santa's Helpers Project. Sammi, Dillon, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for, honestly, we're really super excited to be here.
Oh, likewise, man, likewise. Let's start with Sammi. So for those who might not know much about it, how would you describe Santa's Helpers in your own words?
Santa's Helpers is a holiday party for first and foremost. We serve kids in the Santa Clarita Valley and some surrounding areas that are less fortunate than most of us, who wouldn't necessarily have the traditional holiday that everybody thinks of when they think of Christmas. And it's a big holiday party. They come, they celebrate, there's activities. They get gifts that are donated by so many people in Santa Clarita, even outside of Santa Clarita, and it's just to make them feel special.
I love that. That's really important.
Yeah.
Dillon, what's the story behind how this project got started, and what does it represent to you personally?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. It's really interesting because, truthfully, we didn't even know. Me, Sammi, and Brian were talking about it not that long ago, how, Santa's Helpers came to be. And it's really evolved. It started out as a very small, niche, I would say, where JCs would actually get presents and deliver them to kids that would write a list to Santa Claus. So it's definitely evolved over the years from that perspective. But yeah, it was in, I believe, 1999 when the first, right?
Yeah, 99.
When the project started out, which is just crazy to think that we've been doing this now, going on 25 years into next year. So, and yeah, basically you go from super niche, you have Mr. and Mrs. Claus, delivering via the JC elves. And then you have, we've had over the years, we've been at Subaru, we've been at the mall, and it's turned into more of like a day of event toy drive, like a true toy drive. So.
Oh, that's incredible. What made each of you decide to take on the co-chair role this year?
I have been on the committee since I joined JCI in 2023. And the first year I took a kind of a smaller role. And then last year I, kind of bumped up, and I love planning events. I was an ASB in middle school. And so this is kind of just my thing. I love doing events like this, and it also just holds such a special place in my heart. Like, our family personally has been donating gifts since we were in college, and it's just such a special event. And I knew the second I joined the committee in 23, I was like, I'm going to co-chair this event one day. Like, this is just, it's so special and it's so important, and we have to keep it going. And I will be the co-chair one day.
Yeah, and I did it because Sammi did it. So
Yeah, nice.
And I did say no a lot.
She did, but
I eventually said yes, and I'm so happy.
it was honestly scrubbing using Goo Gone off the gym floor last year, where I was like, shoot, I think we're gonna be the co-chairs next year, and then we dragged Brian along. So yeah,
We miss you, Brian.
Yeah, we miss you, Brian. We wish you were here. Yeah, so you guys are serving over 600 kids and their families this season, which is amazing. Dillon, what does it look like, or what does it take to make something like this happen, and what keeps you motivated through it all?
yeah, that's a great question. I think first of all, what does it take is it takes a lot, right? We couldn't do this without everyone in our committee. I think we're better together, right? We have, I don't know, maybe about 20 committee members, and then on day of, somewhere, well, between wrapping parties ahead of time and then actual day of, probably over 100 volunteers. So it's huge. Really just because of the community is how we can put this on. So
Sammi, over the years, how have you seen Santa's Helpers evolve or change? I know Dillon mentioned that he's seen it evolve or change. How have you seen that?
When we first started, you know, getting involved in and donating toys, it was at the mall. And a lot of things from then till now have remained the same because it works and it's just how a drive works. But seeing it evolve from the mall to then Subaru, and then last year it was at the Newhall Community Center, and this year it's going to be at College of the Canyons. That is something that's definitely evolved over time, just where it's located. You know, we always keep in mind of the community that we're serving, and making sure that it's accessible to them, but also other things that have evolved, like the number of kids every year changes. We always, you know, try to increase it, reach as many people as we can. And I think another thing that's evolving this year is the highlight that we're giving and partnering with resources in the community. And that's a huge reason why we chose to do it at COC this year. We have a great partnership with the Associated Student Government, and felt that, you know, this population, we're serving kids from 0 to 18. And I know that when you're getting closer to the end of high school, there's a lot of questions of, where am I going to go to school? Am I going to be able to afford school? And COC has, you know, a great program, and I think it's even covered now, right? Community college is covered for the
Right.
first 2 years. And that's a huge resource for these lower income families that a few years ago wouldn't have even been able to afford COC. So to be able to highlight that partnership and provide that resource of, hey, this school is here, it's in your community, it's close by, you can go to school, you can still work, and having that connection. And then also still having the Newhall Community Center involved, and providing more resources for, you know, the kids, the younger kids that are coming to the event, and the parents as well.
Our like unofficial official word of the project is opportunity. So one day everyone's going to buy into that, but that's what I've been saying.
Tell me more about that.
Just the opportunity, like Sammi said, I mean, you know, for the underserved community to understand that there's more to, you know, this isn't just a toy drive, right? This is, you know, yes, this might be your family's Christmas and the only, you know, form of gift you're going to receive, but be connected with the community to understand that there's more opportunity out there. Whether it be a day program or it might be, you know, getting college counseling, because, you know, ASG representatives will be there. I believe the college counselors are going to try to be there as well. So, yeah.
Incredible. Dillon, what's new or different about this year's event compared to previous ones?
So I think a big takeaway for us over at least, you know, kind of volunteering and then helping more so last year, I think the biggest takeaway was we really want people to participate in the sense that we want them to be there, enjoy themselves, and understand that this is for them, right? So we're going to really focus on day of experience, and then also kind of partnering with those resources. So.
It's incredible, man. You guys are doing such important work. Like, I hope everybody who's listening to this has a chance to seize this opportunity, because
Please come volunteer. We need you. December 13th.
Even before December 13th.
Sammi, is there a particular moment or memory from a past Santa's Helpers that's really stuck with you, or something that reminds you why this project matters?
We get a lot of families or other kids that maybe haven't RSVP'd. Maybe they're family members, a cousin, a nephew of somebody who's coming to the event, and they weren't registered for the event. And I think the biggest memory I have is still being able to provide for them. Having them show up to the event, not expecting anything, just coming to hang out with their cousins or even a friend who's visiting from out of town, and then being able to identify oh, hey, okay, they might not get as much or a fully wrapped gift like the other kids because they were registered, but it's so incredible to see that smile on the child's face, coming and not expecting anything and still walking away with something more, and also the experience of the event. That smile, I won't ever forget the smiles I see every year.
It's priceless. Dylan, beyond just the gifts, what kind of lasting impact do you think this project has, both on families who receive and the volunteers who give?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I mean, I think it's, for the folks that help out, whether they're, volunteers from, high school kids, or you're getting volunteers within the community. I think, it's a little controversial, but like charity's a little selfish, right? Like we do this for ourselves. But then when you can see the smile on someone's face, like Sammy said, it makes it all worthwhile. And you know what you're actually there for. So I think that, from the people that are working the event, quote unquote, that's kind of the benefit for them. That's the, the internal driver. I think the lasting, again, just having the ability for these families to understand that, they matter, and that there's, their child can go have a photo with Santa. They can participate in events. They can be connected to any type of resource, get some food, right? Because food insecurity is so important as well. We have a lot of wonderful community donors and a budget for kind of day of food. We try to feed, we want people to leave with a full belly as well as presents in their arms.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. That's a good deal.
Right.
Another incentive. Sammy, this project brings together so many community partners, like local schools, nonprofits, and businesses. How do these collaborations come together behind the scenes?
There's a lot of communication. We have amazing committee members, and they have each, volunteered for specific roles. So we have specific roles for the nonprofits that we work with and the schools that we work with. So it's a lot of communication behind the scenes of, reaching out to the social workers or the nonprofit point of contacts to, notify them that the event is still here. Like, we're still here. We're still supporting you guys. But then also communicating details about the event so they are aware of when it is, where it is, what time it is, how to register, what to expect. And then we also have other committee members, like Dylan mentioned, that are reaching out to vendors for support, donating food so we can send people home with full bellies, feeding our volunteers, because that's also important, and, reaching out to local businesses to support us by hosting a box so we can collect the toys that we give out to the kids. So it's a lot of communication behind the scenes and planning a lot of events leading up to the main event to make that happen.
And Dylan, I know this year you guys are strengthening ties with College of the Canyons.
Yeah.
Can you share what that partnership looks like and why it's an exciting direction for this project?
Absolutely. So I think, Brian really deserves all the credit when it comes to kind of the relationship with COC. So we've been working with the Associated Student Government, and we actually have a representative from them that's working in helping us. They're on our committee. We have two right now, actually, Amna and Taha. And, it's really cool because obviously we're JCI, right? At the end of the day, like we want to continue to, grow JCI. So I think it's a great opportunity that, kind of funnel in folks from COC into JCI, get the opportunity for us to have a venue that's kind of awesome. I mean, it is awesome. I'm really excited for people to see the venue this year. It's going to be, just really, really special, I think. And then, yeah, I mean, to kind of tie it all back to that opportunity thing is the ability to have the buy-in from COC to want to partner with us long-term. I think that's really our biggest goal as it relates to this, is we want to have this event at COC for the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a really cool thing that, that they have joined us, and, we'll just continue to be involved.
Absolutely. So. Shout out to COC, and shout out to Brian, who couldn't make it today.
Yes. To piggyback off of that really quickly, it's also an opportunity. We're providing, that resources to the families that are coming. And, there's a lot of kids out there that don't know what they want to do in life. And I feel like JCI has so many incredible people. I think we're all a little biased about that, but we are incredible. And there's a lot of connections that are so helpful within JCI. So, having someone become a student of COC, learn about JCI through this event, potentially become a member a couple years from now once they're 18 and in college, not really knowing what they want to do and hearing and connecting with all of us, like what we do, and really helping them make connections and figure out where they want to go in life. I think that
Absolutely.
connection is really important too.
For sure. There's so many different people from different walks of life that are a part of JCI. That's what I noticed when I joined JCI, was like, oh my God, there's so many different people that are like just so cool, that have so much going on that I can learn from. And that was a really special opportunity, to draw it back to opportunity.
Well, I mean, and I don't want to get off script. I apologize, but I mean,
No.
we were just talking before, we went on, right? Before we came live, is, like I went to Cal Lu, you went to Cal Lu, right? That networking opportunity is so invaluable. Like,
Yeah.
I think my education was great. I don't know how you feel about your
I
education,
feel the same way.
but I feel like the opportunity that we had to network is so important, and that's what really is awesome about
Yeah.
JCI. I
It
think.
really is. It's by far the best networking group that I've been a part of
Absolutely.
so far. And another thing, we can go off script, I don't care, but there's also like networking groups within JCI that you can find that kind of branch off
Right.
from JCI, but it all kind of circles back to JCI. So JCI is
Absolutely.
like the center point, which is, God bless JCI.
Yeah.
Sammi, in your view, what role does community connection play in keeping this project strong year after year?
Our community in Santa Clarita is why this project is still around. We would not be able to grow the project how we've grown it the last 25 plus years without our community connections. From hosting box locations to sponsoring the event to buying items off of our wish list, whether that be for decorations for the event or toys to give to the children. That's the reason why we're around, is the community support, and it's incredible. It's every year it is very shocking. It shouldn't be shocking, but it is, and it's just, I don't know if shocking is the right word. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but it's so impactful to have that community support for this event, and
No.
that's why it's around.
It is. I mean, and shout out to last year's co-chairs, because I mean, we had a budget to work with this year, kind of, funds that were transferred over, and our goal is to continue that, right? I don't think a project goes on 25 years without that happening.
Yeah, definitely.
And our sponsors are everything, but then the folks in the community that step up, that donate, whether it's money, time, or presence, it's huge. So it really keeps us going.
Yeah, this is what I'm really excited for people to figure out. My mom actually asked this question. Dylan, for anyone listening who wants to help out, what kinds of volunteer opportunities are there?
I'm glad you asked. So there's a ton of opportunities. I would say from a very small scale, let's say you don't want to do anything hands-on. Anybody who has a business or a physical location, whether it's a school, a gym, whatever the case may be, and you feel that might be like a good place to host a box to collect toys, please reach out to us. Like, we would absolutely love that. It's so important. We've worked, like I said, with a number of places, whether it be restaurants or coffee shops throughout the community. So that's a very easy, non-hands-on volunteer opportunity. Getting a little more hands-on, if you want to come and wrap, presents, we do what we call wrapping parties for essentially 2 weeks leading up to the event. And we'll have more information on kind of where those are going to be hosted and what that looks like. But essentially, it's a couple hours, and, you just get to wrap gifts, kind of hang out with people. Folks donate food and drink. So it's a nice way to also network, but, make sure that you're doing some good. Day of is huge. We need folks to help us, clean up, set up, run the event. We have our committee members, but then also there's events, like within the event, right? So we're doing maybe ornament decorating. So like if you're crafty, come out and help work the booth, and we have different shifts that people can sign up for. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we'd love to talk, more about that with folks.
Awesome. You'll definitely see me at the ornament decorating
All right,
station.
watch out.
Sammy, what would you say to someone who's never volunteered before but is thinking about getting involved this year?
Do it. Volunteering is so much fun, but no matter what the event is, this is the most fun event that you can volunteer at. There's a lot of different opportunities for anybody, for any strength. Everybody has their own strengths. So if you're not the biggest talker, okay, let's have you be kind of like the runner of the presents, and that's a huge role that we have every year. Or you love working with kids, okay, great, we're gonna put you in the line that for photos with Santa, so you get to talk with the kids while they're waiting in line for their photo with Santa, or they're at a location that like has a game or an activity. Definitely volunteer. I mean, it's such an unforgettable experience, and there's a job for anybody.
But it does come with one disclaimer. You might be co-chairing this event one day if you volunteer.
It's not too bad of a gig, right? Dylan, from your perspective, what do volunteers gain from being part of something like Santa's Helpers, both personally and as developing leaders?
Yeah, I think it's just, more of the same. It's really self-fulfilling, right? I mean, at the end of the day, with anything, you get out what you put in. So I think you can, come in and help out, whether you're from any walk of life, right? Like, it's kind of funny. We make jokes like we're two Jewish people co-chairing a Christmas event, right? But at the end of the day, we're here to bring smiles to people's faces. So I think that you kind of, from a surface level, you're able to take that away. It's very fulfilling. You just know that you're making people's day. And again, you're professionally, I mean, we're working with so many nonprofits. We're working with so many different schools, different vendors, sponsors in the community. Again, it's such a networking opportunity. You never know, I mean, you might come in and realize that you want to go into event planning from this. I mean, it's crazier things have happened. So
there's a lot of opportunity for growth. There's a lot of different roles within the committee, within volunteering, like I said before, that uses different strengths. So I think something to highlight also is, every year the co-chairs change. Something about the event changes. There's a reason for that. It's because whoever the co-chairs are, they take it and they make it their own event. And same with our committees. The members that have joined specific committee roles, they're taking that role and running with it. Yes, there are some guidelines to follow, but really, Brian and I last year really changed how the volunteer coordinator role functions. And it's a really good opportunity to kind of bounce around and, one year try this position, another year try a different position. It really helps people grow in areas that maybe they didn't think that they had to grow in, but it's all about learning.
Yeah. Would you encourage people to put themselves in uncomfortable positions as far as like a role that they know they have no idea what they're doing?
100%. Our goal this year was to make sure everybody had kind of like a buddy. And it's really important when you're in that role, and maybe that it's new to have a buddy, but also that's what the co-chairs are there for, is to support everybody, but then also support those people who are like in a role that they weren't fully comfortable with, but they wanted to try it out. Great, let's try it out. I'm here for you. What can I do to help you? Let me know what I can do to support you while you're in this new role learning it.
That's definitely something I've experienced as being part of JCI. Is people just throwing myself into positions where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And people are like, I got you. And being willing to throw resources, themselves included, being like, I'm here regardless of whatever you need. And that's extremely, extremely useful. And it's such a skill to have as a leader, I believe. Yeah. Sammy, what are some of your main goals for this year's event?
I think all three of us, our main goal this year is really that level of participation. We want them to come and enjoy the event. Like this party is for them. We really, really want them to come and enjoy the food and enjoy the activities, enjoy their presence, and connect with resources. I think that's our number one goal, is just that higher level of participation for sure.
What about you, Dillon?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I mean, really just making it such an experience was so important for us, and just, kind of taking on this year. And yeah, I mean, taking that opportunity to learn from, whether it be, again, the resources we have in Santa Clarita or the resources at COC or even JCI. So I think that pretty much wraps it up.
Yeah. Take the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan, are there any new ideas, traditions, or surprises you're excited to bring to life this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think for us, again, looking at the evolution of this thing, right? It has always been, once it went away from people hand delivering presents, which is so cool. Would love to figure out how to get back to that one day. And it became a true toy drive, Again, it's just, how do you make it experiential and just create the best overall, people are only going to be there for 45 minutes to an hour. How do you just make their holiday season in that short time? So that was really important. And I think that the day of experience is going to be the new thing. That's what we're pushing for. Yeah.
What happened why are they not doing it hands-on anymore, like handing out the gifts?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't know that we know the answer. I think just because of pure size. I think, in 99, it was a much smaller event. And last year, it was even a larger event than kind of what we're anticipating.
Wow.
And some of the reason for that was, we saw actual gifts picked up and participation day of. And our thought was, hey, why don't we still help out, the absolute folks that need the most assistance, and try to push for that day of like ultimate participation. And I think that the way that we're going to get that done is really partnering with the social workers at the schools, working with the nonprofits a little bit closer, and just creating a really awesome day.
So cool. So cool. Sammi, looking ahead, how do you see Santa's Helpers continuing to grow and evolve in the next few years?
That's a really good question. I think definitely reaching more kids is our ultimate goal. To grow and be able to take on and sustain more kids every year just goes to show like how many people are in Santa Clarita that are in need, and how incredible this event is to grow and support those people that are in need. Continuing to partner with COC is definitely on that docket of how this, project moves forward as well. And continuing to find new partnerships within the community, maintain current ones, obviously, because we love them and they're so important, but also learn more connections in our community that can help the event grow as well.
And finally, Dylan, when all's said and done, what do you hope families and volunteers remember most about this experience?
That's awesome. I think what would make me happy is if everybody could pinpoint a day, just any point in the day that put a smile on their face. I think that naturally the younger kids, it's going to be seeing Santa, or it's going to be getting a really cool race car present, or whatever the case may be. I think for the parents, I think it's going to be seeing those smiles, but then I think it's going to also, be the fact that they know they have community, right? They have people who have their back that can, help uplift them if they're maybe not in the best time or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just, in my opinion, it would be when someone's looking back and saying, man, that really put a smile on my face. Whatever that was within the event, that put a smile on my face.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have the same question for you. I'd really love for you to answer that question.
The smile is everything for sure. I think for the kids and families to take away is, yeah, that community aspect. We heard a lot last year at, the community center, oh my gosh, I didn't know that there were these types of resources out there. So to continue bringing that to this event, I think will be very, very impactful. The kids will obviously remember Santa and the gifts. The older kids, who might not necessarily get specific gifts for themselves, they remember getting a gift for themselves that year. But then the parents remember getting connected to resources that they didn't even know existed. I think that's really important. And for the volunteers, I think just showing the impact that a single day can make.
You guys are wonderful. I'd like to thank both of you for just everything you're doing this year to make Santa's Helpers such a meaningful experience. I'm definitely going to be there, and I hope everybody listening comes out and joins too. Also, for anyone listening who'd like to volunteer, donate, or learn more, visit santashelpersscv.com or email santas@jcisantaclarita.org. I'm Noah Morrow, and this has been the Secrets of Tomorrow's Leaders podcast. Until next time, keep serving, keep leading, and keep building a better community. Thank you.
Thanks, Noah.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Noah.
guys. I appreciate it.
Yay!
Cool.